Pretty much like a single mom, but not a single mom. So he comes to stay at home, and 1 year becomes 2 years. You think, okay, I just want to stay till when the kids.
That is where the problem. That's where the problem starts from. I like the way you said that you were thinking that it's going to be next year, and I want the moms to see this.
Go and take a night in one hotel in London and just go and sit down there. You see that sleep that you would have for those 2 days will do you a world of good, and even your family a world of good. So because like that, even though you resent it, you're not admitting that you resent it.
Oh God, you are speaking the truth.
Yeah. I had to start getting a community of other moms that were like me. Just with the mind your business thing. That too was like me. I'm just gonna. So I used to always tell my friend group, I said, if you see my child outside, you might be calling it platforms, right? Somebody's commission that is built in and somebody's going to get paid. It's not you. Yeah. So why can't that person be you? I think that's a lot of things that most women do. They feel, because I've been out of it for so long, I need to go recertify myself again. Go and do another course. Go and go to school again. No, you don't. Honestly, you don't. You need to just go to work. For me, consciously knowing who I was and again being intentional about going back to that person. So I would always do the yes, I'm a mom, but I was always struggling, always trying to keep my identity as me before anybody else.
When you decided to go into your business and your career after this long break that you had, how were you able to do it? What was the strategy you were putting in place to grow your business? Were you saying, no, this is my time, children, move to the back? It's not for me to think about myself only. What was the mindset behind it and what was the strategy behind it? So if a mom wants to travel but she doesn't have the privilege to bring her mom or siblings here, what would you advise them to do to manage that situation? Hi mamas, it's your mom here. Welcome back to the Mom's Mom podcast, a space built with you in mind to bridge the gap between the advice the world gives you and the advice you actually need. A space for mothers, immigrant women, and Black women. Every episode brings real conversations, real stories from moms like you and I who are building, moms who have dreams and refuse to pick between the two. And I hope after this episode you would have gotten an actionable advice. And today's guest took a step back from everything she was building. Not because she wanted to, but because motherhood asked her to. And what she did next is what I want every mom watching this to hear. Now she's a travel business coach and a travel agent, which was birthed out of the passion for traveling. Join me in welcoming First Lady Travel, Olubukola Lebile. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
So welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Nice sunny day.
It's so sunny today. Let's get straight into it. Okay. What's the part of yourself that you struggle with most when you became a mom?
Oh, it's a couple of things actually. So the first thing is, I became a mom and there was no support as it were. So my mom was still in Nigeria at the time. And okay, backstory. My son came late. Early. He came early. So he was supposed to come end of November. He came in October. So everybody had booked their ticket for end of November. So like, he just came a couple of weeks earlier. So of course they couldn't change the ticket. So I was literally by myself and my friend. I had to borrow her mom sometimes and everything. So that was the struggle for me. Didn't know what to do. So I would say yes, the biggest struggle was not having that initial community. I started building my community later on with my kids. By the time my second child came in. The first child, yes, I didn't have a community as such. I just had one friend. I'm a family back home, yes.
What part of yourself do you struggle to hold on to after you became a mother?
I think this issue with every mother, right, is your identity as a person. Because we come into motherhood and we're being told that, as a mom, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to navigate all that space. And most moms happen, when you're the first year of marriage, isn't it? You're not settled into being a wife. You're still trying to navigate that space. Then you become a mom. They're trying to navigate that space. So it's so difficult. So it's identity, identifying who you are. You're trying to stay true to who you are, but motherhood, now you're mom, and you have this human being that depends on you as well.
So what helped you stop feeling guilty for wanting more? Or before we get into that, let's talk about how you transitioned into becoming a travel agent. I know it's from passion. You've told me the story behind the scene, but how did you transition from being a mom to, or how many years was a child when you decided to do this business? How old were your children?
My kids were quite grown. So what happened was, I had my son, I wasn't working, I was on maternity leave. In this country, they give a lot of time, 9 months. So going back to work with him, I tried to do full time, it just wasn't working. By the time my daughter came around, it wasn't visible. My family set up, it just wasn't, because my husband then would go to work, he's a doctor, so he works everywhere. And So I'm pretty much like a single mom, but not a single mom. So he comes on the weekends and everything. He just wasn't working. So decided to stay at home. And 1 year becomes 2 years. Do you think, okay, I just want to stay to when the kids
That is where the problem.
school.
That's where the problem starts from.
Yeah. So the kids going to secondary school and then you're getting used to that, even though you resent it. You're not admitting that you resent it.
Oh
Yeah.
God, you are speaking the truth.
Yeah.
Because I've seen many mom. I'm trying not to be in that shoe, but I've seen many people that they'll say, "I'm just going to stay at home for like a year, 2 years," and they don't like the life they're living, but they will just be comfortable
Yes.
doing it.
Yes. You just stay into it because at that junction, at least for me anyway, it was I had to start getting a community of other moms that were like me. Yes. So I had a lot of community of other moms that were like me. We did carpool together, we did after school activities together with the kids, just to fill up that space, you know, and then I started talking a lot more. I must admit, I think that's when I started talking a lot more and everything. We plan things like family holidays and stuff like that in that space as well. However, the guilt still remains because I'm a trained dentist. So I'm supposed to do more than this. I'm supposed to have an impact more than this. To be fair, I didn't have a great love for dentistry like that. So I was missing out on something. But you still want to contribute something to the society, if that makes sense. So kids going to secondary school, you're like, okay, year 7, year 8, year 9.
Are you serious?
Yes. And then now, I think every year December, I'm like, this year, I'm going to do something. And then it goes away. And next year, I want to do something, it goes away. So it just happened that it was the last 2024, it was. I went out to dinner with my brother and he was like, okay, is this going to be the year? And yes, it's going to be the year. I just know I don't want a 9 to 5. That's one thing I know. So over the years before then, when the kids were a bit in secondary school, I don't have to, babysit them as much. So traveling became my thing. That was my out. Travel, come back, tell friends and everything. Everybody in my circle knows me as a traveler. So I will places I've been or social media, post it sometimes not, but it became my thing. So to transition into the world of travel wasn't so difficult. I was actually thinking of doing another thing, actually, until a friend of mine just said, I was going to track into IT, cyber security and everything. I didn't want to do it, to be honest, because 9 to 5.
But it was trending.
It's trending. It's trending. And I know I'm smart enough. I will get it. If I put my mind to it, I would do it. However, it's not a love. And you know, when you get to a certain age, I want to spend the rest of my life doing something I don't like. I think I've passed that survival. I'm doing something just to survive, and I'm in the era where I should be doing something that I absolutely love, and then that's the only way I can progress. So decided to do that instead. A friend of mine introduced me to this business. I was like, oh, I could just book my own travel. That's how I started, and it didn't end there. It just came,
I love it, and I like the way you said that you were thinking that it's going to be next year, and I want the moms to see this and know that. Because people are in that state of mind. I have a friend that wants to take a break now. She says she's taking a break from working. She doesn't focus on being a mother. And I can see that 10 years down the line, she's still going to focus on being a mother if she's not careful. So I want other moms to realize that it's not just you, but this is where it's going to end if you don't snap back from it and say, 100%. No, 100%. I'm not going to wait for my baby to get to 10 years old or 11 years before I start living my life. I'm going to start living my life now, because now is the best time. Thank you for that. You already explained to us that your children were already in secondary school when you decided to go back to work.
So the travel, my kids are grown. I only have one daughter in A-levels. My son is second year university at the moment. So it was, I did other stuff. I was just at home not doing anything. I dabbled my into little businesses around, but of course it was things that were fashioned around my kids, and it didn't take me out of doing school runs or homework or stuff like that with the kids. So I dabbled here and there. Just for a bit of pocket money. I didn't just want to just depend on my husband all the time. I want to go and do my hair. Because that was a struggle. That too was a struggle. It was a big struggle. It wasn't that he didn't give it to me, but I just thought, why do I have to ask you? Why do I have to do? I didn't want to have to do it, but you have to.
You have no choice.
You have no choice.
The options are limited, so you have to get yourself to do it, even though you don't want to.
Absolutely. And you just find yourself getting annoyed all the time because there's no out. There's nothing that you don't feel independent. You just feel you're dependent on this one person, and you just get annoyed. Then you are
I know.
When it comes on the weekend, then you're going to work, enjoy life.
Oh my God! I swear, because I remember when I was on maternity, my husband was enjoying his own life. He was going to work. He was complaining that work is stressful, but I felt like I'd rather be going to work than stay at home and take care of the children.
Being at home with the kids, it's mental drain as well as physical drain. Because you're mentally, you have to think about what they're thinking about. Are they okay? Are they this? Are they that and everything? And then you have to also think about them as a whole. You want to take care of them, a whole human being. Let them be socially adequate. Let them you could do academics and stuff like that. So it does mentally drain you. And then too, I was like, I would give anything just to
Go to work. So did motherhood change your ambition?
yes and no. Yes, because the trajectory of my life would have been different. Yes, I would have maybe
Dating.
in practice dentistry, I would have fully immersed in that world. It would be something that I would just carry on doing. It pays well enough. I would just carry on doing. So yes, in that way, that yes, it did change the trajectory of my life. Would to say yes, I would. But do I regret it? No, I do. I
No.
don't, because there are lots of things that if I was working as a full-time mom, I would not be able to do with my kids. Do you understand? So if my son were to work in here, the minute he walks in the door, I probably know something happened in school, or is he okay, and everything. And I can afford that because I have literally
You
been
spent time with him.
literally been in his skin. So I can pick on stuff like that. You know, boys, when you have boys, they don't talk. They don't. Especially when they come teenagers, they don't want to interact.
Teenagers with scary
They
parts.
do not.
I'm scared of teenagers.
They don't want to.
I tell everybody I'm scared of teenagers.
So you need to learn how to pick up on things, like little things. I don't think if I was working, I would have been able to develop that skill. I don't think so. It would have passed me by.
True.
So for those reasons, so yes or no.
So what realistic advice would you give to mothers that want to start over? What would you advise other moms that want to start over, that they've spent a lot of years already, but they're saying now this is my new year and I want to start over?
Advice to be just do it. No matter how small, no matter how scary it is, just do it. It's better to do it than to procrastinate about anything. So if you want to go back to the corporate world, that's where your niche is. Start applying. Apply and then trust in the process and everything. It might not come quickly to you, but it's better than just sitting down home and just saying no. Because that is where the 1 year turns to 2 years, turns to 3 years, turns to 4, turns to 5, turns to 6. Yeah. It's business you want to go into, again, just do it's scary. Any decision you want to make is scary, but you serve yourself better by
Doing
it than you thinking that I have to go and recertify myself again. Because I think that's a lot of things that most women do. They feel because I've been out of it for so long, I need to go recertify myself again, go and do another course, go and go to school again. No, you don't. Honestly, you don't. You need to just go to work. You need to go to work. When you get into the job, you can now recertify yourself into the areas you feel you might be lacking along the line. But if you spend so much time going to recertify yourself, another
1 year, 10 years. How were you able to build that community of friends that you said you were talking about, how you're traveling and all that?
When your kids are like baby, that's the first community you get to is those days anyway was antenatal, when you go for your antenatal care and everything. Yeah, you get to see other moms and everything, and then you can start developing your community from there. That's really important to do. So it's 20 years now, but
Because now it's not like that. Now, if you go for appointments, just you don't say no other mom.
It's unfortunate because that is the first community that you can get, right? Next community would be obviously when the kids go into like nursery and stuff like that. Yeah, so nursery moms. So again, because I was a stay-at-home mom, when you drop them at nursery, you hang around a little bit. I've been known to just sit down in the car park and just wait and say, okay, it's almost like to pick him up from school, then go
Really?
back. Yes, but then it was 2 hours. So by the time you walk out and everything,
2 hours.
Exactly. So you have conversation with the other moms at the gate and everything, and then there you go going out for a drink and stuff like that, and then you build a community. But you have to be intentional about it. That's what I would say. You can't be closed off to say, oh, I don't want this person to know about me, because of that. Close yourself up, because it is lonely in this country. It is. So you can't just close yourself. So get involved in communities like that. And build one yourself.
Put yourself in one that's already built.
It's already built. You go to church as well, family as well. I have most of my siblings here, and by extension, maybe their partners or whatever.
Friends,
so that yes, and friends as well. So yeah, my doctor friends as well. So they come, even though they don't live close enough to me, but phone call.
Honestly, that's the way you have to hold on to the community that you have. People don't like communicating. They'll be like, I don't like calling. But how would you, if you're not intentional, how would you build it? If you don't put effort and say, okay, I'm going to call this person, I'm going to say hi to this person on the way, you will not build it. People are just so relaxed and be like, I don't have friends.
They'll come to me. Yeah, they'll come to me.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. Everything in life, I feel you have to be intentional about. If this is what you want, you have to be intentional about putting it out there that this is what you want, isn't it? If not, not going to come to you. This is not Nigeria that just going to see you and then But London is a level, and you have to be intentional, and it has to be 2 ways, isn't it? So your friend cannot be calling you all the time, and then you have to put in the effort too. Yeah. I don't like when people say,
calling type, or I'm a friend that don't call you in 2 months, just know we're still friends. I'm not that kind of, I'm not going to be a friend anymore.
You're going to be lonely. You're going to be lonely because everybody is busy. Everybody has an excuse for why they can't talk to you or anything. Everybody's busy.
So then when you were still in the messiness of motherhood and you were still a stay-at-home mom, were you able to manage mental exhaustion?
That's a good one. Exercise. I started going to the gym. Yes, so exercise, that was good. That was a good outlet.
Back then, was exercise a thing?
It wasn't a thing, but I did it for me. I felt, number one, I thought I'd gone too big. I felt I'd gone too big, so decided to lose weight. So going to the gym, friends there as well. The boot camp, made tons of friends at the boot camp as well. What else did I do? I go out and I'm again very intentional about it. My group of friends, we try to meet up, go out for lunch or dinner or movie and stuff like that. Luckily for me, I don't know if everybody has that. Kids had, my friends around me had kids similar age with them, so it was easy for us to meet up for, let's go to the movie, let's take the kids to the movies. Something's happening here, let's take the kids to go and do those things and everything. And without pulling, so I don't have to do it all the time. I can tell my friend she can pick up the kids in the morning. I can now pick them up in the afternoon. And I have time now to do all that stuff that is not just children all the time. Yeah.
A good one.
Yes. Rely on your community for little things, but again, it's a yin and yang thing.
Just you
not
collecting.
Just you collecting from people. You need to be able to give as well. In Nigeria, it's not the same. Do you understand? In Nigeria,
people it's automatic. The community will come to you,
whether you like it or not. At least you got, if you don't have the friend community, you have family.
They would come to you, even though you don't ask for help, they would help you. Your neighbor would want to help you.
Yes.
Your street people want to say, hey.
Absolutely.
Remember one time in Nigeria, when I was in Nigeria, I was backing my baby I have in Nigeria. I was backing the baby on the road. Everybody shouting on the road. Yeah, and it's like this. Hey, back the baby. I'm like, the first day I carried my baby in the front.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
They were calling me, everybody. Double said the back baby. Yeah, this is wrong. It's there. It is new generation people have changed. Like everybody will be involved in your matter. Like
whether you like it or not.
But yeah, nobody cares. But you have to intentionally build that community by yourself.
Yeah, you. Nobody. They'll just leave you.
Like put your baby upside down.
The only time they'll come if something happens to that baby, but it's a mind your business society.
And that's the problem. Until something happens to that baby before they will say something.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to prevent it. The thing bad happens. That's when they'll talk.
Before then, no one's going to do it. Yeah.
From what I just said now, what UK system or cultural differences were the hardest to navigate as a mom? I'm sure when you came to this country, was it far away you had the child, or was it like almost?
No, I had my son maybe 4 months after I got in the country. I came in, left, got married, came back in, pregnant, and then had my son. So it wasn't too different. I think the first shocker for me was Nigeria. It was a January to December kind of thing. I'm November child, so I'm always the youngest in my class. True. But over here is the opposite thing. So if your child is born after September, they have to wait an extra year. So that was a big shocker for me when my son was supposed to go to reception. And then they're like, no, it's not this year he goes to reception. He used 2 years in nursery instead of 1. Oldest kids in the class, not the youngest. And I was like, no, he will be the youngest. He said no. So that's the first shock for me, that the educational system is so different. Another cultural shock would be the way people navigate this with the mind your business thing. That too was like, me, I'm just gonna. So I used to always tell my friend group, I said, if you see my child outside, you might be calling him. Caution him. And I told my kids as much. So I brought them up like that to say, like, if you go around messing around, any of my friends see you, they're going to caution you and tell you not to. So they're very conscious of the fact that it's not just mommy that is going to.
I wonder.
So that saying that they say, you take the village to raise a child and everything. I was intentional about that saying in my household. Like, I'll tell my kids, you see, when you step outside, that is England. When you step in here, this is Nigeria. I was lucky that the friends about me, again, we all have the same value system, so to incorporate that and everything, and it was easy because even the dads in that community, they all worked outside London. The kids all knew, and they all thought that, if your dad is working, it means your dad doesn't come home until Saturday or Sunday. I'll give you one joke. So my son then, a friend of his, dad was working 9 to 5, coming home every day, and then he was like, "It's
Is that
impossible.
possible?
Your dad is not going to work. Your dad does not have a job."
So that's not the lifestyle you used
Yes,
to.
because the last time I used to, I mean, if you had 6 kids from different households, all that dad go to work on Sunday, come back on Friday, and that's what he knows. So it's like, your dad is lying to you.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes. So yeah, he thought that, oh, that's all good to work and come back on Friday.
Oh god, bless him. How did you stay hopeful during survival season?
I knew myself because I think motherhood, there are different stages you go through. The baby being a new mom, then postpartum kicks in, and if you're like me, I had my second child 2 years later, so
Oh.
I was from postpartum straight into pregnancy again, straight into postpartum again. So it was just for me consciously knowing who I was, and again being intentional about going back to that person. So I would always do the yes, I'm a mom, but I was always struggling, always trying to keep my identity as me before anybody else, before even getting married, me before having kids, me before any of that. So I held on to that. So I think that's what saved me, because I held on to, I didn't just dive into motherhood full on and then for totally
Forget who you
100%.
are.
So even though the motherhood part was like 80%, that I still held 20% onto the identity part of it. So transitioning into having kids in secondary school where they will go to school themselves, and then they're now not as dependent on me as they used to be, was me now developing that 20% now became 30% a little bit, and then became 40% more, and then yes,
More
it just started growing more and more until I was like, enough. Enough, I've had enough, and then I think I need to fully go in, because the excuse, what's the excuse? As in, I don't have any excuse anymore.
True, true. Like when you decided to go into your business and your
Yeah.
career after this long break that you had,
Mhm.
how were you able to do it? What was the strategy you were putting in place to grow your business? Were you saying, "No, this is my time, children, move to the back. It's not for me to think about myself only." What was the mindset behind it, and what was the strategy behind it?
So when I started my business, yes, at first this strategy was, I just want to go on holidays. That was the first strategy. When I started, I didn't take it as a business.
Oh.
I took it more like, oh, I can save for my travel, and I can community of people.
Travel.
We travel with me, or they coming through that, can hang out with and everything. So I was going for that. It very quickly changed into a business for me. I wasn't planning on switching that quick, but I just started again, tell myself, okay, you know what, that hobby I have, I've turned it into a business now. This is what I do. So book your tickets with me. And so in terms of my kids, I think they were ready in a way for me to transition into, because again, every year I would say, next year, mom's going to go back to work. Next year.
You're telling them?
I did say to them.
Oh.
Yes, I did say that I'm going back to work. I'm going back to do. So even though I wasn't doing it, I kept saying that next year I was going to do it. This year I was going to do it. So I think they knew that it was coming. So for them, because they knew it was coming, it wasn't too much. It still was a bit of a change. She's not going to be available like that all the time. But again, because my business it's not a 9 to 5, it's done in pockets of time. So I can do some of my business in the morning, leave it and go and do other things, and come back to it in the evening. So I can do it in different pockets of time. So it's not like I sit on the desk 9 to 5. That's not how it's structured. So it can still incorporate into my life as a stay-at-home mom, as it were. So yes, they didn't have my attention 24/7. However, it wasn't like slice, like suddenly she's unavailable. No. So I think that it just works better for me. I think the only time they don't see me as much is when I travel, but they're used to, because over the years we've been traveling. Yeah, so that they're used to. I try to take one holiday by myself. That was in the discovery stage as well of myself, to say, you know what, I need to do something that is not family all the time. So every year I would take one day off, one holiday in a year off, and do something that is just me.
How many days would that be?
So 5. Usually my holidays are usually like 5-7 days. So I take 7 days off or 5 days off, and then I'll just concentrate on just being me. Yes. So rediscover myself, do the things that I love doing before I got married.
Wow, that would definitely hold you down.
Yes.
To your identity. That would really help.
So you see how that 20%, 20%, then became 40%. That's what I was doing, and everything. Do little tweaks here and there, little tweaks here and everything. So the kids, even though they had me, and okay, I'll stay at home mom with them, they didn't look at me as a stay-at-home mom per se, because I still had my own identity. I still had my own single friends. I wasn't just dependent on them all the time to say that my source of happiness. Or because we do that, isn't it? The babies become our all, because we're giving up one thing, we just put everything on them. And then you have to realize that they're growing as well, isn't it? They are growing as well. They're trying to form their own identity with their own friends, with their own people.
You start feeling more lonely.
You do. Then you now start feeling like, I'm giving you my all these friends and all that and everything, but you have to learn that it can't be your all. They honestly can't. So you have to take something up for yourself. Be it even just going to the hairdresser. That was a struggle for me, to go to the hairdresser to just go and do my hair. When I first was a mom, it was a big struggle, because I just like, I'm too busy looking at this new baby. I don't know, learning the ropes that this cry means this. By the time you are done with it, you're exhausted, you just want to sleep. So that one comes and you have two. Now, how you go? Hair was the last thing.
And oh my God, now I see why most people don't take care of themselves when they have babies, because it's not a priority. Right now, I'm not thinking about that.
It's not.
I was looking at some videos on my phone, because I was trying to make space on my phone for shoots, and I was looking at videos on my phone when the baby was like 1 month or 3 months old. I can never post that video online because I look so weird. What is this? My hair was so rough, my face. I didn't even care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't care. You don't have vomit on you constantly. You're walking down the road.
I swear.
I used to be one of them. That's why I always get upset when people bash moms who turn up for school runs in robes and everything. Oh, do you understand what people is going through?
I've seen people advising moms before.
But that is not at that junction. She's barely surviving. That is not she might have a baby in the house that she thought maybe she could just quickly run, go back, and then didn't have that time to. But the priority for her at that moment is for her to run and pick the kids from school, not to be left in school. That is her priority. So I don't like when people bash moms so that we give them a break, because they're going through the trenches of motherhood. Right now, and then priority. You know.
When you were traveling, who were you leaving your kids with? How were you handling those child kids?
So initially, I would do is that my mom will come into town.
Every year when you're traveling?
Yeah, so my mom will come in, she will spend maybe 5 months in London and she'll go back home. So I would try and book a travel in between that. Or my brother used to live with me at the time. I would stay with the kids, and then even my mom and I would travel somewhere and do something, just us. My husband, again, he was working out of London anyway, so he would have to take time off work to be able to do that. That's another thing I resented him for, because he could just take time off and say, I'm going to Nigeria now, and just go without the buy your leave, and be going to travel. I will make food, I will do this.
Oh God, they even get me started in privilege.
All those things and everything, and I used to just resent it for that. You could just get up and go. I would have to make sure everybody
it's okay before you can leave,
before I can leave and everything. So it was gradually doing that, and then the worst part about that is you will do all the food, you cook jollof rice, you cook that, you come back
finish.
No, half of it is still there, because what are they going to do?
Buy out. Oh my God!
Take away.
What a waste of time and
energy. They will do take away the whole period. But guess what? The next time you're traveling is make sure you cook right. Make sure.
I'm sure I will learn my lesson. I'm sure.
After a couple of rounds of it, I was like, nope.
No more.
No more. No more. I'm just going to go do me. Yeah, no
really?
More. Yes.
So what would you advise other moms that don't have that privilege of bringing their mom in when they are traveling? You're going to tell us more about this travel business soon. But if a mom wants to travel, but she doesn't have the privilege to bring her mom or siblings here, what would you advise they do to maneuver that situation?
Take your child with you. Take your kids with you.
That's more. How would you have time for yourself?
Because guess what? A lot of hotels and everything, guess what they have? Child care.
Are you serious?
You can drop your child in the kiddies club for an hour or two, take a nap. So if it comes down to the absolute liner that it's difficult to say you want to leave your most precious thing in the world,
you.
Exactly, then you can't give it to and just anybody. It has to be someone that you trust 100%. So if you don't have that, take your child with you. I have a friend, we went to Vegas for someone's 40th, one of our friends, she go, our 40th birthday party. She came with her baby. Because she was not
understandable, but if it's toddlers.
So they have kiddies club. They've got kiddies club that you can put your kids in for an hour or two, and then you can just go and relax. So you can take your kids with you. Don't let that be the hindrance that stops you from doing something that you absolutely love. Because the setup in your house is different from the setup on holiday. Because number one, when you're on holiday, you're not thinking about
cleaning.
You see that cooking there? Okay, I'm telling you, honestly, if nobody praises a mom, you see, for that cooking alone, only praise her. Because it's not just putting to the market buying. You have to think about
Plan.
what are they going to eat for breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, then the next day you plan all over again. If nobody gives women credit, see that cooking alone, give them credit for it, because it's all planning, thinking about someone's diet, thinking about no. And if you have kids who are
Picky.
I had two, they were picky. Then you make breakfast, this meal for this child, this other child
my
doesn't eat this meal.
God.
Then you are making one meal, I'm making three for breakfast, and I'm making for lunch.
That was me when I was living with my parents, because my brothers were picky and we have to like sometimes make different food.
Exactly. So that is in Nigeria. Can you imagine doing that here? It's hard. So imagine after doing all that way, we are expecting me to look all glam. Ah no. Glam is the
Not
last thing.
possible.
It's just not possible to be glammed up. Nope. It's just not possible. So don't be afraid to do it. A lot of sports you people weekenders away. You can even do that with your partner. If you have your husband or whatever, you can do a weekend away. Don't do anything special. You don't have to travel out the country. Go and take a night in one hotel in London and just go and sit down there. You see that sleep that you would have for those 2 days will do you a world of good, and even your family a world of good. So by the time you get home on Monday, you are refreshed, your mind is clear. You feel you can take on the world and do stuff. So incorporate that, even if it's just once a month, you do that. Once in 3 months, do it, because your family will thank you for it.
Well,
they would.
So tell us more about the travel business, please.
Oh, so the travel business is beautiful.
Of course, to you, of course, you was enjoying it.
Beautiful. It's a business that is made for pretty much stay-at-home moms, if I'm honest, because they realize that the moms at home that they have a community of other moms who wish they could just do something, but don't have the time or the equipment, or they don't want to even do the 9 to 5 thing and everything. So this is something that you can do from the comfort of your home in pockets of time. It doesn't take a lot to do the training. The training is an hour. You do the training, and other training you get every other day. You can plug into this training as well, and that is incorporated into the whole business model for you. You get to do travel. You get to go for ship visits. You get to see the industry as a whole. And travel is not just most people feel travel is just buying tickets.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's so much more. You can do spa weekends away. You can do cruise visit. You can do theater tickets to go see a show. So the John is hot this year. She's coming to Paris. So people travel for different reasons. And like John, they want to go see her. They will take a night in Paris, watch the show, and then come back. That is one travel that you just booked for somebody. So if you have 10 friends that want to go do that, you're making money from that. You don't have to worry about curating. You can do creating the deals yourself, but there's some deals that are just available for you. Just sell it to your network of people. You can get, if you're not visible on the internet right now, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. This is 2026. If you're not online, I really do not know what you're doing in 2026. But this is a way where you can work from home, focus of time, and still make a living from travel. The bookings that you do, the commission is already built into the price. So it's not like you're going to book travel for this person and have to add money on top of it. That's not how it works. The commission is already built into the price. It's the same price you're going to see on popular booking networks and everything. We even work with a lot of them. We work with TUI, we work with Jet Holidays, we work with so many of them. And then the price is the same price. So they just put a commission inside. So if you did go online and you booked travel through the popular booking platforms, right? The commission that is built in and somebody's going to get paid, it's not you. So why can't that person be you?
Yeah, true.
Do you understand? That's the model of the business and how it was set up. So to help moms. So it can be the bridge between you transitioning into going back to full work if you want to. You could just sit and do work yourself and everything. So there's that bit, and there's also, if you're interested in marketing the product to other people, you can also market the product to other people and get a team. Right now, I've got a team of almost 90 families now who have told about the business as well, who also, like me, were in limbo and they're looking for something to do. I've got doctors in my team who are tired of the NHS. I've got nurses, same thing, who are just tired of having to work that extra grind and having somebody else dictating to them when they can. And then I think that's a big main problem with a lot of 9-to-5ers is
the freedom.
So this gives you that freedom, and it does pay well as well. So win-win.
If there's anybody that wants to join this community that you're building, they can just reach out to you on
Yes, they can reach out to me on my Instagram. I am First Lady Travel, or TikTok. I'm First Lady Travel as well. It's the same picture you see. I'm trying to keep it the same. So when you see me at the platform.
Honestly, did you ever feel behind when you were an immigrant, when you were in the motherhood season, when you relocated, or because of your immigration status? Did you ever feel behind in this country?
Yes and no. Yes, while in the process. At the beginning, not so much, because again, A lot of my friends, we all migrated in here together. So we're all again in the trenches at the same time. So no one is ahead. However, a lot of them they went in and did the 9 to 5 thing. I think in my friendship group, I started motherhood earlier than most people. So they went to work and they did this and stayed in employment and got nannies for their kids. And then that's what they wanted to do. So that middle stage, I just felt like they are the ones that can go up to a showroom and buy a car without having to ask permission
Husband.
or ask their
Oh.
husband to chip in. They could do it themselves. So I fell behind in that stage. Now, not as much because I command my own time and all that. And so, not so much now. So my advice to people, if I would say, is don't feel bad whatever stage you're. Honestly, don't feel bad. Your timing is your timing. Do you understand? Be aware of the points you're in and don't let society or everybody around you now press you or make you feel bad or whatever and everything. Just have your game plan. The beautiful thing about this country is it doesn't matter what age you are, you can reinvent yourself. That is the beauty about
I've noticed.
You don't have to. It's not like Nigeria or any other words where if you don't make it after a certain
40.
your 40s and everything, that's the end of your life. Here you can reinvent yourself no matter what. A lot of people, and this is what my husband said to me to make me even stay at home. Look, that a lot of people in his profession, then he was a ONG doctor. A lot of people who come back in their 40s, 50s to nursing because their kids are grown. And that's when they now start their career at that point. So you can start your career in this country at any junction. You don't have to, don't anybody be pressing you and everything. I know it's hard. It really is, especially if you got dreams, aspiration and all that. And being a migrant in this country, you're still getting to know the system, getting to know all those things and everything. Then you're trying to find your feet and it is hard. However, if you put too much pressure on yourself, you're not moving. You're not moving. Understand where you are. Yes, you can take little courses and everything. University of YouTube is fantastic. University of YouTube is great. There are books you can enlighten yourself and reach yourself. You go listen to podcasts, go read some books and everything. And so many business models and things that you can pick up from reading tons of books and everything. Do that so that when you're ready to go into that world, you are fast with the knowledge. Don't wait until then to say, pick different skills. And it can be anything. Like one of the businesses I did then was doing meat pie. Again, remember I said that a lot of the dads around us, they used to go away and come back on a Saturday. So I started that with that. Let me bake them meat pie. They can go and they can have meat pie and for lunchtime and everything like that. Then that's how I started.
Wow.
I started doing that a little bit and everything. And then, little change coming from that and everything. So it's something I learned in this country. I learned that skill here. And then I pivoted into do that. I didn't make a big scale business, but it was just, okay, this is my money. I worked for this small money that entered is my money, and I don't need to ask for money to do it. I have this money and everything.
Imagine.
So my advice to them is please just don't beat yourself up. Do something while you're waiting. Do a little bit of something. If it's reading books, listen to podcasts. There's so many podcasts on wealth creation and wealth generation and all that, and you can sink yourself into.
Thank you so much for that.
Welcome.
I think you answered this question. I was going to ask what you would tell the woman that's waiting already, but I think you answered by saying that learn while you're waiting, still learn, still make research, still do what you can do. Whatever skill that you have, utilize it now and make some money with it. So thank you so much. So when you were starting over, when it was time for you to go for it and you're starting over, what were the real challenges you faced in that moment where you decided to go back?
Challenge number one is, of course, I'm medically trained, so business, they don't teach us.
I see.
We're not
the technical know-how.
The technical to do a brand of business was like, okay, I had to learn quick on how to do the business side of it. So that was one challenge. The second challenge I had was people, because my business is a people business, isn't it? You get people who are, again, scared. They're scared to jump in. They're scared to believe that they don't want to believe in themselves. So they come up with excuses at that time. I go, no, you do have time. You do. You have time. And I tell people that you make time for something that's important to you. Yeah. So that was the second thing that was for me. Next thing was a bit of belief in myself as well, if I'm honest, because again, this is a new thing. It's one thing to travel for yourself. It's another thing to do as a business, isn't it? So believe that I could actually do this and make it work. So you question yourself, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing everything? You question yourself. Other people too are nitpicking in your ear.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I even have people coming to me and say, Okay, you're not a content creator. I'm like, I'm a content creator. I said, no, I'm not a content. I'm a businesswoman. There's a difference between, I'm not there.
Marketing.
I'm marketing. I'm not there to just create content for you to just, no, I'm marketing my product. But they looked at, they viewed it as I'm a content creator. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not. That's another avenue that I had to, I struggled with that a little bit because beforehand, social media was not my thing. I didn't even have a TikTok account, to be honest. Social media definitely was not my thing. So navigating that space was hard. That was my biggest challenge, if I'm honest.
Starting the business, learning how to do the business.
Starting the business, learn how to do the business, believe in myself, navigating social media, because again, visibility is key. You have to do all those things all at once, and then you want your business to grow. But the truth of the matter is, if I dwelled on those things, I wouldn't be where I am right now. If I dwelled on the fact that it's hard, this and everything, I wouldn't take action. And that's what you really need to do, right? You just need to take action. You just need to stop procrastinating. Just get up and do it. Because even as a mom, you have clothes hanging around, you got laundry to do, you got that to do, this to do, and everything. When you look at the whole picture, it looks cumbersome, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the minute you get up and do, that's one less thing to do. I transferred those skills into, even though I didn't realize that they were skills.
True.
If I'm honest, but I transferred those skills into what I'm doing at the moment. And again, because I work with other families and helping them to succeed in the business as well, I transferred the skill of being a mom, having to learn patience, having to learn how to talk to a child, having to learn how to do all that. I transfer all those skills into now my team as well. So, like I said, that's many things that you can. People realize I was even doing all those things until now. I'm thinking, so this is like how I can use it and stuff like that, and everything. Yeah. So those are the struggles and everything, but.
I really enjoyed this conversation. It was really deep and very, very real. Thank you so much. Yeah. I really learned a lot today, and I hope you learned something too. And you leave here feeling more empowered to pursue your dreams. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And if you're listening on Spotify or any audio podcast, please follow us. It's very, very important that you share this podcast to every mom that you know that would benefit from this. So thank you for joining us today. See you in our next episode.